Hi everyone, it is September 14th.
And this is Pure Nebraska.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Pure Nebraska. I'm John Vanderford.
And I'm Taryn Vanderford, I should
yeah,
say.
no,
I'm not
yeah,
John, I'm
yeah.
Taryn Vanderford. And welcome to another edition of Pure Nebraska. And we have taken the show live on the road today. We are here at Husker Harvest Days for day 2. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement going on. We have some students behind us. These are students from Centennial High School. We're going to talk to them in just a second. They're here with their local FFA chapter. A lot of students out here today, John.
A lot of students walking around here today at Husker Harvest Days. We're looking out through the lens of Skyview right now to get a view from above, and the weather is another nice day today. Nice and cool and comfortable, a perfect day to get out here to Husker Harvest Days and see all of the amazing technology, equipment, and just talk to maybe some people you haven't seen for a while. We've seen a lot of people out here the last day or two.
That's right, and Brad was with us yesterday.
Yep.
We had a good time with Brad, and now he's back in the studio taking a look at our weather.
I'll tell you, it looks a little, well, I can tell you it's warmer here in the studio than you guys are looking right now. So we are looking at another cool day, kind of cool out there this morning. It's about 52 in Grand Island, and probably going to be looking at our temperature climbing a little bit better than yesterday, maybe in the mid 60s. The good news is not quite as windy. We won't have that north wind blowing at 10 to 20 with gusts of 25 like we did yesterday. So a little bit of improvement. Other than a little bit of drizzle this morning, should stay dry for portions of central Nebraska. Even here in Lincoln, we're going to see a little bit of drizzle, and then it should be dry this afternoon, but probably not going to see a lot of sunshine. And then it looks like day 3, perhaps a little wetter. So we'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. John, Taryn?
All right, sounds good, Brad. Thank you, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. Well, as you mentioned, Taryn, we are surrounded by some students from Centennial High School.
Yeah, and I have Kyle here, and Kyle, you're the spokesperson, right?
Yes.
You got roped into it.
All right, so tell me, Kyle, what have you guys been doing so far?
Basically, we've just been walking around, looking at new innovations, agriculture, exploring some possible career opportunities.
Okay, what do you hope to do someday, do you think?
Ag business.
Great.
Yep.
That sounds great.
Sales and services.
All right.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for stopping by. You want to say hello to your mom and dad and friends out there? Now's your
Mom.
chance. Well, thank you for sticking around. You guys are going to stay with us just a little bit longer, okay?
You're our studio audience. We're not in the studio, but we're a studio audience.
Our live audience,
All right.
right.
Before we're going to move on now, we've had the pleasure of having the show director here, Matt Youngman. He's here now again to fill us in a little bit on what's going on here on day 2.
Yeah, so Matt, thank you for stopping by.
Glad to be with you again.
Yeah, so how did day 1 go?
It went really well. You know, it was a little chilly and a little breezy, but at the end of the day, we were able to run almost all of the demonstrations. We even got the hay demos, and the only thing we couldn't do is fly the drones, fly the UAVs because of the high winds. But today is going to be a great day. It's actually really comfortable to walk around in these temperatures. You know, you wear a light jacket and come out and enjoy the show. Going to run the combine demos, tillage. The UAVs will run, cattle handling, ride and drives, all those things will be going on all day.
You know, I know this is really an opportunity for the exhibitors to connect with farmers, and have they been able to do that, and has there been a good conversation with them?
Yeah, so you know, that's kind of the barometer of things is go around at the end of the day and check in with the exhibitors and make sure that the goal of the event, as you mentioned, is that this is our producers of food, fiber, and fuel shaking hands with their input suppliers, their technology suppliers, their equipment suppliers, and learning about what's new in the industry. And the exhibitors were very satisfied with the folks that they spoke with yesterday.
I know you have some new exhibits this year, like this tractor that's just like a robot,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Maybe talk a little bit about that and maybe some other highlights here this year.
Sure. So, you know, the concept tractor. So if you think of the Detroit Auto Show, that's where General Motors is going to come out with their concept vehicles. What's going to happen down the road? That's kind of what Case IH has brought here. Is a concept vehicle, a totally autonomous, driverless tractor. So it runs off of cameras and radar and GPS and the programming that's put in it by the farmer. You know, another cool innovation is the Tribine, which is the combination of a combine and a 1,000 bushel grain cart in one massive unit. And so, you know, this is the kind of place where companies like that make those unveilings and actually get to put them to work out in the field. That was a big hit in the field yesterday, watching that tri-bind run in the field demonstrations.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Why is it so important to have a show like this?
Well, you know, we talked about it being a trade show, and when you think of a trade show, you're going to think of Las Vegas or Orlando or a big convention center is where trade shows occur, but you can't do that for farmers. If you want to actually put it to work, you need to be in central Nebraska or central Iowa or central Illinois too, so that these producers at their trade show can go watch the machines do the work. So that's, you know, that's what kind of sets this show apart, makes it unique compared to something that's just going on in a convention hall.
And that's really what's interesting, is that there's a lot of acres around here that is set aside just to do these exhibits and these demos every year.
Yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of coordination. We get great support from the host farmers, the Libby family, the Rohr family, and Farmers National. It's kind of a big group effort to make sure that you know, over the 31 years that Roger's been the host farmer, he's really fine-tuned that ability to get that crop ready to go in the middle of September. So it's 200 bushel corn at 22% moisture, and it's just perfect for demonstrations.
Great. Well, Matt, what can people expect now from day 2 and then day 3?
Yeah, today, day 2 is going to be, you know, usually Wednesday today is our biggest crowd, and I expect for that to be the case. And there's a little bit of stuff in the forecast for tomorrow, but it's actually, you know, there's a fair shot that we're going to get a nice break and be able to put on a great show tomorrow. So I'd invite everybody to come out today and then come check it out again tomorrow.
Okay, 8 to 5.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Matt, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for all your work. It's a good show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it very much. Well, we're going to move on now. We're going to share a story about one of the exhibits that you can enjoy here at Husker Harvest Days.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on machinery, but livestock is also a big part of it, and we found something kind of cool.
We're talking about stock dogs. Here's more on a stock dog demonstration that you can see here at Husker Harvest Days.
Hey everyone, I am here at Husker Harvest Days, and I'm standing in front of the stock dog demonstrations, and joining me is Tim Gifford. He's from Harrisburg out in Banner County, way out by Scottsbluff. Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
And really intrigued by what's going on here with the demonstrations of the stock dogs or the herding dogs. How did you get involved in that?
That's a long, really strange story. My ex-wife at the time wanted a puppy, and I never could figure out what to get her for Christmas. Brought this puppy home, had it about 10 months, and ended up in another guy's yard watching him work these dogs, and he offered to buy my dog. I didn't know anything, the dog didn't know anything. He was going to give me $3,500 for this puppy. And I'm thinking I ought to just sell this puppy and get out of here. But what I was watching them do was they had a trailer backed in the middle of a feedlot pen with no panels around it. They were sitting on the headrail of the feedlot with the dogs, loading these cattle in the trailer. It was just the dogs, no panels, no wings, just the trailer. And he was going to give me $3,500 for this puppy. Maybe I ought to pay attention. So I got some videos and I just went to work, and that's been a while ago, but that's how I started.
And what kind of dogs do you raise?
They're border collies. To me, it's the difference between driving a Volkswagen and a Cadillac. They have all the tools in their bag. They can learn anything you have the patience to teach them. They'll go to work for you every day and give you their heart.
Right, and so what are people seeing here today? What are the dogs demonstrating?
We've got the 3-month-old puppy. We've got year-old pups that are just starting nice. They're starting to take some training. We've got a couple of 2 or 3 year-and-a-half-old dogs that are coming along pretty nice. We've got a couple of really broke, what we'd call finished dogs, that we can go out and do anything we want. We can send them 800 or 900 yards to gather cattle.
I hear you guys talk about different terminology when you're working with the dog, nipping and sticky. What is all that?
A sticky dog is one that's laying on its belly looking, just staring a lot, and he'll just kind of basically just stick there. So we need to get him up on his feet, get him moving, and get some motion going to keep him from being sticky. So because he has that tendency, we like a dog that has a high drive. There's several things that I have to have in a dog to train it. You can't make a Mack truck out of a Volkswagen. You got to have the motor to start with. So I got to have the high drive. Got to have balance. I'll talk about balance. If you hang out here for over 30 seconds, I'll talk about balance a lot. Balance is the stock between you and the dog. which creates gather. That's how you send them 3/4 of a mile and they bring them back to your feet. They gather back to you.
Wow, so much that you're doing. You're looking for the right kind of breed, all of those different elements in the dog, and then you have to have that relationship with you and your dog, right?
Yeah, they're still our friends. We enjoy them.
Tim, it's been fun watching you with these dogs and how they're herding the cattle and the sheep here today and the goats, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
I love the stock dogs. They're always fun, and there's going to be another demo coming on at 11 o'clock this morning. There's one going on right now, but then another one coming up at 11 if you happen to be coming out this way. We're going to have more live coverage from Husker Harvest Days all this hour.
Yeah, we're going to learn why this is a good place for maybe continuing education for farmers and ranchers. First, though, we're going to take it to the break, and we have someone to do that for us. This is Andrew, and where are you from originally?
Beaver Crossing.
Beaver Crossing. Okay, go ahead.
Stay with us. We have Brad's forecast right after the break.
Nice. Good job. Very nice job.
Good job, you guys. You're free. Thank you. Thanks.
And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. We are live on the road again, day 2 of Husker Harvest Days, and it's just a great place to be, just a little bit west of Grand Island near Alda, Nebraska.
And it's so fun seeing everyone out here, and we appreciate everybody coming up and saying hi. We're by the KRVN studios here, and we want to put the spotlight on a farm women's group called Common Ground. We do a lot with Common Ground. They come into our studio every Wednesday, and so today we are coming to them here, and we have Deb Gangwish, and Deb, thank you for stopping by.
Oh, thank you guys. I really appreciate your time here.
Yeah. So, Deb, where are you from?
I'm from Shelton, Nebraska. My husband and I farm around Shelton and then up by Springview, Nebraska. So we raise seed corn, commercial corn, soybeans, do some trucking, custom harvest, have cattle. So we kind of cover the gamut of agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
That is excellent.
And so what do you like about coming to Husker Harvest Days?
Oh my gosh, just walking in here this morning, it was fantastic. Just the excitement of all the new products, familiar faces, so many opportunities to learn. You know, we need agriculture. I mean, 3 times a day at least, we need agriculture. But in agriculture, we need education. And this is a great opportunity to look at new science, new technology, latest and greatest in products.
Do you think consumers realize maybe how much continuing education that farmers really need? I mean, it seems like technology continues to evolve, so the importance of continuing education is really great.
Yes, we like to say that we're a smart farm. We use all the technology that's available to us, but the learning curve on that is sharp. And in fact, last night we just had 7 guys from Climate Corp come out and meet with us on our farm about some new updates with the program. We're getting ready to harvest commercial corn, and you know, we spent a couple hours with them last night talking about, you know, getting everything hooked up, new screens, new ways to see what we're doing on our farm, and using that data to make better decisions come next year. It's critical that farmers continue to learn. There's always 3 areas that I think of with farmers. There's the whole business side, which a lot of people don't realize how business-oriented agriculture is. There's all the science, and people are pretty familiar with that, with the crops, all the products that we use to help have a healthy crop. And then there's all the technology, and that technology portion is a sharp learning curve.
I bet. Now you, of course, being a lady out here, what do you like to see? Now, if the ladies come along with their husbands out here, some other fun things?
Well, I may be an odd duck, but I love the machinery, the equipment, as well as we're 100% irrigated on our farm, as well as we're no-till farmers as well. So being able to explore what's up and coming in research with no-till, in technology with our pivots. All our pivots are on telemetry, so we can actually, we still go out and check them, but we can control and monitor our pivots through our phones and iPads. So, you know, just being aware of all that's out there and really making sure that that we're as efficient and as effective as possible on our farm. We want this for our kids. We've got 5 kids, and we want to leave things better for them. And continuing education helps us do that.
So that's what you like. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I just, and I love all the familiar faces.
Yeah.
It feels like a great big homecoming. Yeah.
I couldn't quite hear because of all the action going on around here, but very interesting, Deb. Thank you for coming in, telling us about your interest in technology, continuing education, and making sure that the land is here for future generations.
Absolutely. I thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Deb.
Yes.
Coming up, we are going to have more live coverage from Husker Harvest Days.
Yeah, well, on Tuesday's show, we talked with an expert on soybeans about the benefits of growing high oleic soybeans. Well, coming up, we're going to find about the growing market for biodiesel for soybean farmers, and that is coming up next year on Pure Nebraska.
And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Of course, we are on the road today for Husker Harvest Days. It is day 2, and we are learning a lot about farming, a lot about technology, and everything that goes on here.
Yeah, we're also learning about the impact that the growth of biodiesel could have on Nebraska soybean farmers. And with more on that, Greg Anderson. Greg, nice to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
Yes.
Well, tell us about your operation, your farming operation.
Well, I'm a 5th generation farmer. My sister and I have that privilege of now being there on the farm. My farm was homesteaded in 1873, so it goes back a long, long ways. And I think about all the different crops that were grown on our farm down through the ages, such as oats and corn, and now soybeans, which is really playing a big part in biodiesel.
Yeah, and I know we wanted to talk about biodiesel and maybe give us a, you're so knowledgeable, you could be our instructor, of this class on Biodiesel 101. I mean, what is it?
Biodiesel is really America's advanced biofuel. It's the fastest growing alternative fuel in the country. And the important thing to know about biodiesel, it's not petroleum diesel. It's different from that. So it's made from a host of different feedstocks, soybean oil being the most common and the most popular, but biodiesel can be made from recycled cooking oil, animal fats, corn oil, canola oil, and now in the future, maybe even algae. The oil that is gained from all of those sources can be made through a chemical process. And the wonderful thing about biodiesel is that it can be put into diesel engines at any blend level, whether it be a 2%, 10%, 20%, or even higher, with no engine modifications. And so it's a very seamless transition into a host of applications, whether it be agriculture, city fleets, or even heating oil.
Wow.
Okay. And then we hear that biodiesel has a big market in places like New York, used as heating oil?
Yes, as we're donning our jackets and sweatshirts now as the weather's getting cooler, a lot of people, especially in the Northeast, heat their homes with heating oil. That's the most common. And the states back there really saw the need of cleaning up their air and seeing an alternative source, especially after we observed the observance of 9/11 here just recently, the 15-year. A big push was made. Let's not get our petroleum oil from outside sources like the Mideast. Let's see if we could grow it from in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. And through ASTM standards testing and a lot of research, we found that biodiesel can be incorporated into home heating oil. And now the #1 customer of biodiesel in the country is New York City. They're using a vast amount at a low level, and the goal is to up that level from a 2 and 5% to 20%. And the National Oil Heat Research Alliance really has a goal by the year 2050, 100% biodiesel in all the heating oil out there.
So it's really exciting. This is really a market for soybean farmers that can continue to grow.
It is, John. As we look at, Nebraska has about 5 million acres of soybeans annually. That's like 5 million football fields, so there's a lot of production. Most of that meal goes to animal feed, but we have a lot of excess soybean oil after the soybeans are crushed, and that can be used in a host of applications. And to use all that product, we need to look at industrial uses to use that volume. About 25% of our nation's soybean crush for the oil was used in biodiesel last year, and that adds about 63 cents per bushel to the farm gate that the farmers receive.
Amazing, amazing. Well, it's great to know that there's this market that's continuing to grow, biodiesel, and Greg, thank you for all your knowledge about soybeans. We appreciate that today.
Oh, thank you, John and Taryn.
Thanks for coming. All right, well, coming up, we're going to check in with Pure Nebraska's Brad Anderson. We're going to have another look at the forecast. That is a little bit later.
Yeah, first, though, we're going to check with David Jesperson. He is back at the studio, and we'll have a look at your ag headlines. That's after the break as we broadcast live from Husker Harvest Days.
Broadcasting live from Husker Harvest Days. It's day 2. If you get a chance, come out and check out this big trade show for farmers and ranchers. So it's a really great place.
We're going to send it back to the studio in Lincoln, though, where David Jesperson is, and he has the latest headlines in agriculture.
Good morning, John and Taryn. Willful and serious. Those are 2 words OSHA is using to describe violations against CPI after a worker was killed at a grain elevator. 41-year-old Jason Weston died March 16th at the CPI elevator in Prosser. His lifeline got tangled in an unguarded rotating auger. Now the investigation into CPI is complete, and OSHA has found 4 main faults, including no machine guarding installed to protect workers from moving parts. According to OSHA, Weston and 3 other workers were standing over the unguarded auger using a pole to dislodge debris in the bin. The Nebraska Corn Board predicts the number of accidents will continue to grow as the ag industry does. Grain elevators are a prominent industry in Nebraska, and they do come with risk. One UNL Extension educator says taking safety precautions is the first step to prevention.
There are some small things that you can do to help protect yourself should you get in an entrapment, such as putting your arms out in front of your chest and keeping your hands in front of your face, so that you have a little more opportunity to protect yourself and so that you can keep breathing.
We reached out to CPI. The company's employees declined to go on camera, but they did, however, release this statement saying Jason Weston's family is still in their thoughts and prayers. The co-op's president says they disagree with OSHA's categorizing some violations as willful, but said the co-op will work with OSHA to resolve those points. Those are your ag headlines from across the state. We'll get a check of the weather coming up after the break, but first, here are your farm markets.
Welcome back to Pure Nebraska. We are live from Husker Harvest Days. It is day 2. We are broadcasting this morning outside the KRVN building here, so if you want to come by and say hi, we appreciate that, and we're really enjoying our time here at Husker Harvest Days.
Meeting a lot of great people like these guys, some students from Cambridge, and Dylan, you're the spokesperson here, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
so.
yeah.
How's your day going?
Not too bad, a little cold.
A little cold, but you got some jackets on. Look like you're
Yeah.
prepared. No shorts, right?
No.
I know. And so you're with FFA.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking for out here today?
Just different advancements in agriculture and stuff.
Yeah.
How it's changing, improving and stuff.
Do you hope to farm someday? Is that
Yeah, planning on it.
okay? And are you guys on the football team at Cambridge?
Yeah.
How's your season going?
We're 1-1 right now.
Good.
1-1.
Good.
Okay. What's your mascot there?
The Trojan.
The Trojan. Okay. We'll go Trojans. You want to say hi to anybody back home?
No.
We'll just hang out here for a second. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Alrighty.
Hey, thanks you guys for coming up today. Cambridge is a great town. I had a gentleman was tapping me on the shoulder. I should have said hi, but we were on the air with these guys. So there's a lot happening. It's fine though. Just come by and say hi. No big deal. If you want to be live on TV, that's fine with me. We're going to pitch it back to Brad because Brad was here yesterday, and you know, in a way, we kind of miss Brad a little bit. You know, it's kind of an empty chair over there.
I know.
But he had to man the fort back at the station.
He's back there. I'm sure he misses us.
Yeah.
So let's toss it back to Brad.
That's right. You know, I kind of miss you guys too, but now that Taylor Pennell is standing next to me, I'm not so lonely out here. So, yeah, we got a little mist going on here. The roads are a little damp, so kind of another cool and cloudy day. But, well, we got good rain chances tomorrow. I know, the jacket is still on. This is the first time I've actually, I think, worn the suit jacket outside
I know, right?
since last spring. So it is chilly. What do you think? I mean, we've got the big Husker game. It looks like we could see the third weekend in a row of some nice weather. Well, we had some rain that first time, the first game.
We did have some showers come through. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed with that. I was here working the weekend, so it's kind of tough to tell everybody, hey, I know you're getting into the stadium, but we have showers on the way, just so you know. But this weekend, last week was like a top 10 weekend, really, overall. Both days were pretty fantastic. Sunday ended up being the upper 70s, lower 80s. And this weekend, I think it's looking just about the same, if not maybe a little bit better, more fall-like, I think, for both days.
Yeah. I think it'd be great. It probably won't work out this way, but wouldn't it be great if we have all the rainy or snowy weather as the season goes on during the week, and then every Husker Saturday,
it's perfect in the 70s with lots of sunshine.
Whether it's November or December, 70s and
January,
sunshine.
Doesn't matter, right?
That's right. So.
And I also wanted to go ahead and mention just how disappointed I am that you have no photo for us.
I know.
The highlight of the show, and you didn't provide a photo.
I don't have a photo. That's right. I did not provide one today. I feel bad now. I feel guilty. You can just go to our Pure Nebraska Facebook page, and there's some photos there for the day from our adventures yesterday.
Did you have fun yesterday?
It was fun. You know, it was kind of chilly, kind of cold, but, you know, we're tough. Well, most of the people out there are tough. I was I was complaining a little bit, yeah, but no. It was thanks for joining me, Taylor. It would have been very lonely.
For you, anything to help you out. I know you need it sometimes. So.
And it's a little uncomfortable for people to sit here and watch me talk to myself. So I'm glad that you.
I think they understand, though. They know you, and they understand that.
That's
right?
very true. That is very true. All right, thanks, Taylor. In fact, let's talk a little bit about Husker Harvest Days for today. We only had 59 for the high yesterday in Grand Island. Today, a little bit better, about 65, mostly cloudy skies. I think there is at least the chance for some patchy drizzle from now until maybe midday, but mainly dry this afternoon. Kind of an east-southeast wind developing at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we'll take a look at the precipitation again over the next 10 days. Not so much today, but as we head into tonight and into tomorrow, we start to see scattered showers and thunderstorms. Good chances for showers and thunderstorms for Thursday and Thursday night, continuing to Friday. The weekend should be dry. Next week, we see another system kind of move in, and that will give us more chances for showers and thunderstorms Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. And we head into Saturday. This goes to September 24th, so maybe it'll be a carbon copy. Kind of wet next week and maybe drying out for the last weekend in September. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Let's check out your 7-day forecast. And again, today, most of us will be in the 60s, mostly cloudy skies. And then for tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the morning with a better chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon. And yes, over central and eastern sections of the state, some of those storms could be strong to severe, but warmer tomorrow with mid-70s and upper 70s. Upper 70s on Friday, a 30% chance for some morning showers and thunderstorms. And as Taylor and I were talking about, nice on Saturday for the game with 70s, upper 70s on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday even back into the low 80s, but smaller chances for some showers and thunderstorms on Monday and better chance for showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. So kind of a cloudy day today, kind of cool, but things do warm up, but also some pretty good rain chances for tomorrow. John, Taryn?
All right. Hey, thank you, Brad. We appreciate that. Coming up, we are going to have more live coverage from Husker Harvest Days.
Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts is here at Husker Harvest Days making the rounds. He is talking to farmers and ranchers about the state of agriculture in Nebraska, and he joins us next as we broadcast live here from Husker Harvest Days.
And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. We are on the road live at Husker Harvest Days today for day 2.
Yeah, and Governor Pete Ricketts is making the rounds out here at Husker Harvest Days. And thank you for stopping by, Governor.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
So just got here this morning,
yes.
I assume. What are you seeing so far? What's impressing you?
Well, the coolest thing we saw was that automated tractor that they're calling the Stealth Tractor or the Robo Tractor. Doesn't have a cab on it. It's not on the market right now, but it is the direction, I think, of things in agriculture where you're running it from your iPad, and it's pretty darn cool.
Amazing.
It's very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
What is the state of agriculture in Nebraska right now, in your view?
Well, right now, we've got some challenges. Anybody who's involved in agriculture knows commodity prices are down. Corn's down, cattle's down. It's kind of unusual for both to be down at the same time. And so that presents challenges for us, not only in our ag sector, but that drives our state's economy. It's about 25% of what we do here. It really is the heart and soul of what we do here in Nebraska. And so we see that show up, for example, in our sales and revenue income taxes, where those revenues are down. For the fiscal year ending June 30th, they were off about $95 million or 2.2%. So it's going to mean that we have to tighten our belts at the state, and of course it's going to be a challenge for the entire state.
Mm-hmm. In talking with farmers here, we were out here yesterday, it seems like property taxes comes up all the time, kind of a big concern.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I travel around the state, the number one thing people talk to me about is property taxes. Now, last year in the budget, we put $408 million into the property tax credit relief fund. We actually increased that fund by 45%. Provide some property tax relief that way. And then earlier this year, we came back and passed two bills, LB 958 and 959, to address that as well. LB 958 put another $20 million directed just toward agriculture. We've got more work to do, though, so I'm just continuing to work with people about additional ideas we can bring back for the next session with regard to tax relief. And then we need to continue to look at things such as how we can expand trade and cut regulatory red tape and those sort of things to make sure we're doing what we can for our farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, and I know you just mentioned that with the expanding trade, you mentioned how commodity prices are down and cattle prices. Interesting that both are a little low right now. What can be done at the state level to maybe boost those prices?
Well, what we want to do is expand our trade opportunities. Right now, for example, let's take the beef market. If you look at our beef exports, we went in 2004 from being about 4% of the overall beef exports of the United States in total, I'm talking about Nebraska beef, to over 18% now. So if we can expand that international trade, that gives us opportunities to expand more of our markets for our beef, for example. Mm-hmm. So what we want to see is things like TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, get passed so we can bring down some of those tariffs. For example, in Japan, they've got tariffs on our beef of 38.5%. TPP would bring that down to 9%. That helps us be more competitive with the locally produced beef, and it helps to offset the strong dollar. Those are some of the things we can do to help out our ranchers here in Nebraska. So if we can expand those trade opportunities, that's a big deal. Just a couple of weeks ago, Greg Ibar, our Director of Agriculture, was over in Taiwan and signed a letter of intent with the Taiwanese to sell $400 million of our ag products. Those are the sorts of things that can help expand our markets, sell more of our products, and of course, ultimately, that leads to supporting the prices.
Okay.
Governor, thank you for stopping by. I know you're going to be speaking over here next, aren't you, in Nebraska Farm
I'm going to be making my trip around, yeah.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
We
Thanks for
appreciate
being here
it.
today.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to have more live coverage from Husker Harvest Days.
Yeah, we're going to talk to someone with KRVN, someone you probably know very well when you listen to the radio. He will join us next as we broadcast live here from Husker Harvest.